we got to hold those short fields to 3 or less, and we know we have a higher standard than what we showed down the field today.
Did they do anything that you did not expect? Did the 49ers do anything that you were not prepared for?
No. I mean, we kind of went over a whole bunch of different scenarios and different schemes we were going to run, and so we were well prepared, and we just got to execute a little bit better.
Myles, as a defensive player, what's going through your mind when the offense or Kevin makes that call to keep the offense on the field? Even especially in their own territory. Are you thinking like, hey, pin them back, let's keep on just playing strong defense, or do you like their aggressiveness? What's going through your mind when you see those kind of aggressive calls from the offense?
I mean, whatever happens, we got to put the fire out. So, if they end up converting, then we just got to be ready when the time's called. And if they don't, then we're up right now. Lock in. Everybody understand what your job is, and let's get the ball back to the offense. Let's get them back in rhythm. Went over a whole bunch of different scenarios and different schemes we were going to run, and so we were well prepared, and we just got to execute a little bit better. I mean, whatever happens, we got to put the fire out. So, if they end up converting, then we just got to be ready when the time's called. And if they don't, then we're up right now.
I almost didn't survive this scroll because the moment I saw Jeudy pointing fingers, the internet turned into a crime scene. One bad game, one loud excuse, and suddenly, Shedeur is the villain. Not today. Myles Garrett stepped in like a cinematic plot twist nobody saw coming, and the shutdown was instant. What really happened in that Raiders meltdown? Who folded under pressure, and whose narrative just imploded? This clip flips the blame game upside down.
Before I tweet, why is Garbage Jeudy yelling at Shedeur about throwing him the ball? You decided not to go for that ball. We didn't forget that you was frolicking with the fairies last week, gang. You lucky you got the ball in the first place. They saying he's mad about this, the ball being overthrown. Gang, you don't even stretch out your body to catch the ball. You don't put your hands out. You jogging. You ain't even attempt to grab it. I know high schoolers that would have gone for that. Nigga, Google says that you're not even in the top 30.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe Shatter Sanders to the channel. It helps more than you think. The moment everything went sideways didn't come with fireworks, slow motion, or dramatic music. It came with one receiver pointing fingers like the scoreboard wasn't already doing enough of that.
Understand what your job is, and let's get the ball back to the offense. Let's get them back in rhythm.
How good a job did Purdy do getting rid of the ball? It looked like you had a bunch of pressure, but you only able to get to him one time.
Yeah, I feel like there were a lot of ops. Well, there seemed like a lot of ops, with how close it was. But he likes getting out on time, or he sees me, and credit to him, he also avoided the rush pretty well too. So him getting the ball out on time, them having
one bad sequence, one loud emotional outburst. Suddenly, a quarterback who had been running for his life all game was being painted as the villain. Because apparently accountability is optional when you wear gloves with extra grip.
Oh, Joe, Shedeur Sanders says he's working hard to build trust with Jerry Jeudy. Shedeur says it's going to take some time. That chemistry with guys like Jerry, I'm more of a trust person, so we have to spend some time on the task. It's just, and I told you, Ocho, anytime you start doing this right here.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Unc, it's a disconnect.
Yes.
It's a disconnect. Once that Wi-Fi get on point, it's gonna be all right. You gotta understand, these two ain't worked together, Unc.
Right.
Chemistry is very important.
Jerry Jeudy chose chaos that day. Loud chaos. Public chaos. The kind that turns a sideline into a courtroom with no judge and too many opinions. And for a brief moment, it looked like Shedeur Sanders was about to become the fall guy for an entire offensive meltdown.
Did you see this? Did you see Jerry Jeudy obviously going up to Shedeur, talking about a play on the sideline? And I'm watching this joke, I'm like, this is what I'm talking about right here. I'm so sick of seeing this. I mean, these YNs, you're out of hand, man. Do you understand? It's like you can't be yelling at quarterbacks like they your bitch.
The outburst didn't come out of nowhere. The Browns had just swallowed an ugly loss, an 8-26 stinger that left everyone frustrated, sore, and searching for excuses like loose change and a couch. The offense sputtered. Opportunities evaporated. Drives died young. And as usual in football, when things fall apart, the blame starts flying faster than the ball ever did. Except this time, it flew in the wrong direction. Shedeur had spent the entire game ducking pressure, dodging defenders like traffic cones, and still somehow delivering dimes into impossible windows. The man was out there playing chess, while the protection was playing musical chairs. The narrative started forming in real time. Was the rookie quarterback losing the locker room? Was leadership slipping? Was pressure cracking him? The speculation machine was already off and running. Then Myles Garrett stepped in like a plot twist that rewrote the entire episode. Garrett didn't posture. He didn't fan the flames. He shut the whole thing down with the energy of someone who saw the nonsense for exactly what it was. No confusion about where the team stood. No mixed signals.
A low-tier wide receiver disrespecting your QB because you don't want to go for it. Even Smith was right about you. You average. You not even diving. You didn't even attempt to get to the ball, bro. And you over here snapping, yelling like you the main man to save the day. When Dylan Gabriel was throwing you 3-yard passes and interceptions, Rose is crying. Where's all this snapping? You was nowhere to be found. Last week when you was playing with the Pixies, well, who fault was that? Go back to frolicking with the fairies.
The message was simple. The quarterback wasn't the problem. The finger-pointing wasn't welcome. Unity over theatrics. Film over feelings. And just like that, the narrative flipped. Because when the face of the defense draws a line in the sand, it carries weight. It tells the locker room who's actually leading and who's just venting. It told Shedeur that he wasn't alone. And it quietly told Jeudy that the court of public blame wasn't buying what he was selling. Behind the scenes, that support was different. Shedeur had just taken a physical and emotional beating. He'd been chased, hit, hurried, second-guessed by the scoreboard, and still kept firing. Then, on top of that, he had to deal with a teammate unloading frustrations in real time. That kind of pylon breaks some players. Instead, it lit a fire. Not eventually now. Because effort without results is just cardio. What made it even more compelling is that he didn't dodge his own responsibility. He owned what he could have done better, could have rallied harder, could have steadied things when momentum slipped. That's leadership. Loud accountability without dodging personal flaws.
Played the game at any level, you understand? It's one thing when you get to the NFL, right? You have to work with your receivers. You got to work with receivers because just because you have a ball in your hand, you have a guy out there running routes, doesn't mean you have an instant connection.
True.
There's certain little nuances that you have to have, certain rhythms and timing that you have to know that over a course of a training camp, over a course of the off season, that you get to know your.
Then the film came out, and the film was ruthless. First play of the game, pocket opens. Shedeur reads it instantly. Release the ball into open grass where a receiver should be accelerating, not sightseeing. Instead of attacking space, Jeudy throttled down like the route suddenly turned into a stroll. The ball hits the turf. The drive dies in infancy. Perfect throw, vanished opportunity. Later in the game, the same story with higher stakes. Shedeur rolls right, drags defenders with him, spots Jeudy screaming open downfield. Delivers a deep ball that should be framed in a quarterback museum. Jeudy secures it, then immediately forgets that defenders exist. Ball loose. Touchdown dreams evaporate. The ball kept arriving where it was supposed to arrive. That's the part that made the blame game so absurd. It's hard to sell a quarterback as the problem when the evidence keeps showing the opposite. It's hard to scream about bad throws when the hands on the other side keep betraying them. And yet the loudest accusations don't need facts to echo. They just need volume.
You should be making them your money. You can't make your money without them. It blows my mind. There's a difference. We watched last year, and I told you a couple years ago, when your boy Jay Daniels came in, and you see how Terry McLaurin was with him through his development stage that first year. McLaurin wasn't getting the ball, and they were talking about how he's not going after, he don't say anything to the kid. He's saying just play your game, develop the way you gotta develop. I don't.
Garrett understood that immediately. He also understood something else. Internal chaos destroys teams faster than any opposing defense. You can survive missed blocks. You can't survive a fractured locker room. So he addressed it the only way a true leader does, by picking a side, and that side was the quarterback who had been fighting uphill all afternoon. That support mattered. For Shedeur, it meant the team still trusted him. For everyone else, it meant the narrative was being reset in real time. For Jeudy, it meant the window for public finger-pointing had officially closed. But the storm wasn't done, because as much as Jeudy's outburst grabbed attention, the coaching decisions poured gasoline on the frustration. At one of the most critical moments in the game, deep in the red zone, momentum hanging by a thread, the decision came to pull Shedeur off the field, and he gets benched in the moment that demands poise level 10. The offense never recovered its balance after that. And oddly enough, that single coaching call did more to fuel Shedeur's frustration than any sideline argument ever could. Because, unlike miscommunication between players, coaching errors ripple across the entire scheme. Now,
Jeudy tried to flex on 12, never did that with DG. My problem is this. How you getting tough? Bro, you getting heated and tough right now? When I name off the top of my head 6 or 7 plays that caused turnovers by you, specifically by you. What are you talking about, bro? Like that's the thing that be getting me about people. And that's the things about playing. This is why playing on bad teams, and this is why tanking and saying that you're trying to lose games is a bad idea. Because people start doing stuff like this.
Now, layer that on top of the dropped routes, the fumbled finish, the protection breakdowns, the sideline theatrics, the scoreboard humiliation, and you start to see the full picture of why emotions boiled over. Still, the original accusation hung in the air. Was Shedeur really the reason this offense stalled? Or was he surviving in spite of it? The tape answered that question mercilessly. Play after play showed him manipulating coverage, moving safeties with his eyes, throwing receivers open before they even understood they were supposed to be open, escaping pressure just long enough to deliver precision, tossing sidearm lasers while being spun like laundry. It wasn't flashy chaos. It was controlled desperation. Despite the misplaced blame and the tactical misfires, the coaching staff made it official. Shedeur would remain the starter. Not a courtesy vote, not a temporary trial, a full endorsement of trust. That announcement landed like a verdict. It told everyone exactly what the organization saw on film. It told the locker room who the future belonged to. And it quietly confirmed what had become obvious. The quarterback wasn't being protected by the scoreboard, but he had earned his protection inside the building.
Popping off when you have no choice to be popping off like that. And it's what happens because you got rookie quarterbacks and you got people trying to figure it out. And people feel like you can get that off. You can't get that off. You think you can get that off with the Bills? You think you can get that off with who? You think you can get that off with a contender? No, because there's a level of respect happen. There's a level of, oh, I know you ain't tripping. And there's a level of oh, you want to chill? That's how you moving? Come sit by me real quick. Come sit by me real quick. We'll talk to you.
Garrett's support now made even more sense. Leaders recognize leaders. The defense saw a quarterback absorbing punishment without folding. The coaching staff saw command under chaos, and the narrative that once threatened to swallow him completely reversed course. Meanwhile, Jeudy was left standing in the mirror of his own performance. No crowd to back the outburst. No tape to support the accusation. Just the cold, unedited reality of football. And here's the part no one likes to admit out loud. Football doesn't care about frustration. The ball doesn't move just because someone is upset. It moves because 11 people do their jobs at the same time. One missing step, the entire play collapses. To missing opportunities, the game slips away. 3, and the blame search begins. And Shedeur, to his credit, didn't hide behind any of it. Even with the team backing him, even with his position secured, he still turned the spotlight inward. Talked about needing better rallying, better confidence, better unity when momentum slipped. That's the type of language organizations crave. Not perfection, responsibility. The irony is that the same qualities some tried to paint as weakness ended up being the reason he was entrusted with the offense moving forward. Emotional honesty, competitive fire, zero tolerance for excuses, and that's what
6-8 loss to the San Francisco 49ers. So much drama in this game, during the game and after the game. But I want to talk a little bit about Shedeur Sanders. What is next for him? And the heated exchange that he had during the football game with Jerry Jeudy. It was caught by the CBS cameras. Those two guys going over something, a play on the Microsoft Surface, and just kind of arguing about it a little bit.
And that's where the real uncomfortable truth sets in. Jeudy wasn't wrong to be frustrated. Losing hurts. Dropping plays hurts. Watching drivers die hurts. But frustration doesn't rewrite film. It doesn't convert third downs retroactively. It doesn't secure catches that already hit the hands. And it certainly doesn't change who was delivering the ball accurately into danger all afternoon. Garrett didn't just defend a teammate. He defended the truth of what had happened on that field. Now the locker room moves forward with eyes wide open. The quarterback has been affirmed. The offense has been challenged. The standard has been set publicly. And the season turns on how those standards are answered. Shedeur, meanwhile, walks into the next game with something few quarterbacks get this early. Full organizational trust born from adversity. That does things to build confidence. That reshapes how plays are called, how teammates respond, how pressure is processed. And if the rest of the offense rises to meet him, the narrative changes fast.
Why does Shedeur Sanders in that moment have more poise than Jerry Jeudy? Yeah. Jeudy, you should be teaching Shedeur. Completely unacceptable by Jerry Jeudy. Completely unacceptable for several reasons. Number one, Jeudy, you the one that fumbled that play last week versus the Raiders, and Shedeur didn't come at you. You the one that had that 39-yard play. Should have been Shedeur's second, if not his biggest play of the day, had you made somebody miss. But instead, you start dancing in the open field, force fumble. Shedeur don't come at you yelling.
Very fast. But if the same issues linger, if routes stay lazy, if hands stay unreliable, if protection keeps cracking, then this game will be remembered not as a fluke loss, but as the warning shot. The warning that talent at quarterback can only mask dysfunction for so long. Myles Garrett knew exactly what he was doing when he shut the whole thing down. He wasn't just protecting Shedeur. He was protecting the fabric of the team. The unspoken code that says blame in public breaks everything in private. The defense has drawn its battle lines. The coaching staff has made its declaration. And the locker room has seen in real time who stands where when pressure hits. Because in the end, that sideline outburst wasn't about one bad play. It was about how teams respond when failure becomes loud. And on that front, Myles Garrett didn't just shut down blame. He shut down the chaos before it had a chance to spread. The season now belongs to what happens next.
Osage steered Jerry Jeudy away, but these two guys definitely were not on the same page about what they were discussing. And then afterwards, Shedeur talked about the fact that it's going to take some time to develop trust between those two, to develop timing, chemistry, and for them to get on the same page and see things through the same lens. And it's almost seemed like he was capturing what happened during the game, even though he wasn't directly.
And what happens next is where this whole saga either turns into a redemption arc or a weekly rerun of the same mistakes with new excuses. Because now there's no fog left to hide in. The quarterback situation is settled. The locker room stance is settled. The only thing that isn't settled is whether the offense is ready to match the level of accountability it demands from everyone else. Every route from here on out carries extra meaning. Every dropped ball will feel louder. Every missed block will echo. And that's the funniest part of all this. The attempt to shift blame only sharpened the spotlight. The attempt to escape pressure only increased it. Because in football, as in life, the fastest way to become the headline is to pretend you're not part of the story. The next game won't care who yelled. It will only care who delivers.